everyone, welcome back to more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. Ooh, I almost said Ace Attorney Investigations too. Gotta get out of that habit, man. But we were playing some more Ace Attorney, so let's continue where we left off. And day 2. Oh yeah, we found Apollo knocked out, hopefully not dead, last episode, so that was pretty crazy. And now, yeah, we're gonna continue with this. District Court, Defendant Lobby. Number 5. Ugh. This isn't exactly how I envisioned the second day of this trial to start. But given how things ended yesterday... Good morning. Uh-oh. The mood sure is tense. Not that that's any surprise.
Oh, hey, did you read the paper this morning, boss?
Huh? The paper? That came out of left field.
You didn't read it? Then you don't know the big news. Somebody spotted an abominable snowman way up in the mountains.
Tell me you know the difference between a paper and a tabloid, Athena.
He might show up in the forest where you live, Junie. So you better watch out, okay? You really should read the story for yourself. I can't even begin to do it justice. Justice? Huh? Oh, poor Apollo. And it's all my fault. Dina! Oh, Junie, what was I thinking? I'm so sorry.
What we found yesterday was not Apollo's dead body, thank goodness. He'd been assaulted by someone with a blow to his head and was lying unconscious. We rushed him to the hospital right away, and it looks like he's gonna pull through. But it was still quite a shock to stumble onto a scene like that. Yeah. Is Miss Woods alright, Athena?
Well, I managed to get her to stop crying. Now she's resting on that sofa over there.
I guess she really feels responsible for what happened to Apollo.
Poor Junie. She believes that the reason Apollo was attacked is because he was helping her look for something in that courtroom.
Oh. Guess I can see why she'd think that. By the way, how are you doing?
Who, me?
Yeah, you. I know you're concerned about Miss Woods, but are you alright?
Me? I'm doing just fine, boss. I mean, yeah, it was a huge shock. But I'm alright. People who study analytical psychology are great at times like these. After all, they've learned how to control their own emotions, too.
Somehow, I don't think it's as easy as she makes it sound. She's, your thing's crying. But there's no denying she's a real trooper. Apollo doesn't remember a thing, does he?
Yeah, he can't recall anything from the time right before he was assaulted. Nothing about what he was doing in courtroom number 4 or who assaulted him. Doctor said it's probably due to that hit he took to the head.
Assaulted in a court of law and losing your memory at that. I know how that feels. Yeah, I was gonna say, Justice for All, first case? Or as the anime made it, Trials and Tribulations first case, because they're a bunch of geniuses. I'm not gonna start on the anime because... what are they doing with this second season? It is the most rushed job I've seen. They're spending 24 episodes on one game, and they did one case in 4 episodes. Like, what? And then they had a filler episode! Like, I can't even. But...
who in the world would do such a thing, huh, Mr. Wright? Just wait till I get my hands on the coward who hurt our Apollo.
Now, Athena. I thought you said you were in control of your emotions. Let's just focus on helping Miss Woods, okay? But I admit, I'm just as upset as you.
Okay, boss. You're right. Apollo's assailant can wait until after we clear Junie's name.
That's the spirit. Now, let's see. I'd better check the court record one more time before the trial starts. Let's give it a check. Yep, got all that stuff. Alright, we're good. Where do I exit? Okay. Sorry, I'm not used to these controls still. If memory serves, when I have more than 6 pieces of evidence, I should be able to switch pages with this panel.
Earth to Mr. Wright, I'm ready whenever you are.
Alright, let's get ready to rumble.
You bet.
Let's get ready to rumble! With everything that happened with Apollo, I didn't have time for a proper investigation. I can't let that stop me, though. I have to get this right for Miss Woods' sake, and Apollo's too. Let's go! Oh, is that an autosave? I think it is. Maybe. December 18th, 9:50 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 5. Oops, sorry. Open the doors! Court is now in session. All rise! Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods.
The prosecution is ready, Your Honor.
The defense is also ready, Your Honor. Now then, I believe I instructed the prosecution to further their investigation. Were you able to locate the remote switch in question?
I'm afraid the remote switch is still missing, Your Honor.
I must say I'm disappointed, Mr. Payne. Not angry, just disappointed.
I apologize, Your Honor. That's even worse.
Aha! Looks like the prosecution is just as unprepared as I am.
There's a separate matter, however, that I would like to bring up during this trial.
A separate matter, you say? Oh, and what might that be? I love that expression. He's like, oh my god!
I assume that you are aware that another incident occurred during yesterday's trial. Speaking of course, the assault of Mr. Justice in the ruins of courtroom number 4.
Uh-oh, why is he bringing that up? Yes, what a truly harrowing experience it must have been. Poor Mr. Justice.
At the time of the attack, Mr. Justice was not alone. He was with the defendant, Miss Juniper Woods.
He isn't going where I think he's going with this, is he?
The prosecution wishes to indict Miss Woods on the charge of Mr. Justice's assault.
Oh my god, this isn't, dude, this is so crazy, Order! For the love of God, order in the court! Mr. Payne, this incident under deliberation here is courtroom bombing. The assault of Mr. Justice has nothing to do with this trial.
But I believe there is a connection between this case and Mr. Justice's assault. Please, take a moment to consider these facts. Both events occurred in courtroom number 4. This is the location in the courtroom number 4 where the unconscious Mr. Justice was discovered. As you can see, it's quite close to where Detective Arm's body was found.
Courtroom number 4 diagram. Okay.
The question is, why did the culprit feel the need to maliciously attack Mr. Justice?
Why indeed? What do you believe their motive to be, Mr. Payne?
I believe Mr. Justice found something in that courtroom while Miss Woods was with him. Evidence that fingered her as the perpetrator of the bombing.
You mean he found some incriminating evidence?
Precisely, and so I surmise that the defendant picked up a piece of rubble and hit Mr. Justice on the back of the head in order to silence him. Objection! Junie would never do such a thing. She was devastated when we found Apollo hurt like that.
Besides, please control your outbursts.
Ahem. It is the prosecution's belief that by deliberating on Mr. Justice's assault, we will draw ever closer to the truth of the courtroom bombing itself.
Very well. Miss Woods is hereby officially indicted on the charge of assaulting Mr. Justice.
What?
Why are you listening to Mr. Toupee over there? Although, considering our conversation yesterday...
I think Apollo might have figured something out.
Wonder what it was.
He told me, I'm going to look for evidence to clear your name, Juniper.
Maybe the two incidents really are related, after all.
I'd like to start by hearing from the defendant herself.
Very well. Belief, please bring Miss Woods to the witness stand.
Oh, hello, I'm back, I guess. I'm sorry. I can't seem to stop.
Miss Woods. Guess she's still really upset about Apollo.
Miss Woods, you went to the rooms of the courtroom number 4 with Mr. Justice, did you not? Yes, I did. Good. If you would then, please testify about what happened to the court.
Oh, we have to find a contradiction? Or no, we're gonna look for emotions. Alone with Apollo.
During the trial yesterday, I was overcome by a fit of coughing. Apollo stayed with me, and we went to the courtroom ruins together. But then I was called back to this courtroom to give testimony. Apollo insisted on staying behind in courtroom number 4. I swear I didn't attack Apollo. Why would I ever hurt such a kind person?
So Mr. Justice stayed by your side while you were feeling unwell. What an admirable young man. I thought his loud voice was his only outstanding feature.
He may look like a little imp at times, but Apollo can be really nice too.
I hope she didn't hurt her wrist backhanding that one out. But one has to wonder, why did Mr. Justice stay behind in the ruins?
I think Apollo might have figured something out.
Something? What kind of something?
Something to do with the courtroom bombing kit, kind of something, I think.
Oh, new evidence for the case, was it? That's a very big kind of something indeed. Oh my god, this is totally it. Oh my god, we totally figured it out. Oh my god.
I believe so. He mentioned looking for some evidence when I was called away.
Objection!
Just as I thought. There is a connection between the two incidents. But the defendant has told a very big lie, Your Honor.
What lie is that?
When she learned Mr. Justice would be looking for evidence, she attacked him. She attacked him to give herself a chance to destroy that evidence. No, I never...
Objection!
Miss Woods repaid Mr. Justice's kindness with violence. We found proof of her foul deed there in the courtroom ruins.
Oh, what on earth?
Do you see it? There, in front of Mr. Justice's right hand. Witness the message he left us.
I was hoping, like, is there gonna be something? It's written in blood. D-O-O... Oh, wow, Zach. W-O-O-D-S. Why isn't that...
That's right, Your Honor. It says Woods in capital letters. What? I submit that Mr. Justice left us with the name of his attacker before he fainted. No, that can't be true. Why would Apollo write my name? Mr. Wright, the nerve of him leaving that message. Why would he do this?
Hey, don't take it out on me. I don't understand it any more than you do. We discovered Apollo yesterday. Yeah, there was no message. Apollo!
No. Ah!
We didn't even have a chance to rush over to him. As soon as security heard Athena's scream, they ran in and cordoned off the area. After that, they were in courtroom number 4 with Apollo the whole time. We couldn't investigate anything ourselves and had to leave everything to the police. Still, I never thought they would find some bloody writing there. Now then, please begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Cross-examination.
I don't think she's lying.
Okay, or she is lying.
Hold it!
Why exactly did you go to the courtroom ruins?
We went to look for my medicine. To stop my coughing.
Your medicine? Why would your medicine be in courtroom number 4?
I dropped it in the heat of the moment. It was the heat of the moment. Bumrap Riney. He was keeping my medicine safe for me. He's a little compartment that I can put things in, you see?
Phony Fanty is the same type of pocket. That's where the bomb was inserted.
I put my medicine for my coughing fits inside Bumrap Riney. When I told Apollo about it, he said he'd help me go look for him. There was so much rubble in there. I was worried, but there was no rubble or anything in front of the witness stand. So when we got inside, Apollo went straight there. I started looking for my Riney in that area. It was so nice of him to do that for me, in spite of all his injuries. Apollo is so strong and kind, just like the trees of the forest.
The way she makes him sound, you'd think Apollo was some kind of ancient god. Oh wait. Boom. So that's why you went to the ruins. I see. It seems to be quite an important fact. Please add to your testimony, Miss Woods.
Objection!
There we go. So he started his search with the witness stand, you say?
That's right. I guess maybe he wanted to start from the furthest point in the room. He was being so brave. And strong.
But that's odd. Under the circumstances, he shouldn't have been capable of that.
But he was, and he still is. He might not look it, but he really is brave, and kind too.
No, that's not what I'm saying. No, that's not the part I'm finding fault with. Someone has a crush on Apollo. What you are claiming is something that no one should have been able to do. Well, I should think that anyone can be brave and kind if they wanted to, Mr. Wright. True, anyone can be brave and kind, but if you would please take a look at this diagram. With the courtroom in this state, how was it possible to walk up to the witness stand?
Oh,
I see your point. The rubble blocks off the access to the area around the witness stand.
Huh. Does a tiny inconsistency even matter? Perhaps the witness is simply misremembering it.
Great, now I'm not so sure it matters.
A real man doesn't make mountains out of molehills, you know?
But that's precisely what Mr. Wright does best. I call slander, Your Honor. So it was really impossible to approach the witness stand. I have to say, it's a bit hard to tell with any accuracy from just this diagram. Mr. Payne, do you have any other photos of the crime scene?
Let me see, Your Honor. Yes. I have one more. Here it is. And, it's a more pulled back version of the photo from before.
Huh? What's that hunk of metal on wheels? Mr. Payne, is the metallic object in that photo Mr. Tonate's bomb transport case?
That's right. Is there some problem?
Ah, yes. That transport case was there in courtroom number 4 when the bomb went off. It must have been there ever since.
Oh, that's it.
Miss Woods, have you remembered something?
Yes, I just realized. Its position. It's different from before.
Its position? The position of what?
The position of that big metal thing.
The bomb transport case?
Yes, when Apollo and I went there, it was in a different place. Where the cases in the photo was open space, so it was easy to search the stand.
I see. So where was the transport case when you and Mr. Justice saw it?
As I recall, I think it was more to the right.
To the right? Then that means, in that case, the case was over there at the time of Apollo's attack, of course. It was hiding, so that was planted, and it was hiding it the whole time.
Who cares where the transport case was when? What difference does it make? It has nothing at all to do with what we were talking about.
Objection! Yes! Where the transport case has everything to do with this discussion. In fact, it's so important that it's enough to turn the prosecution's argument on its ear.
What?
Well, that certainly sounds very relevant indeed. And you sound as though you know where the case was at the time of the attack. Yes, Your Honor. This diagram represents the crime scene as shown in the photo. And this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault on Mr. Justice. Alright, I have this. The bomb transport case was here at the time of Apollo's attack.
Take that!
Boom! Your Honor, I assert that this is where the transport case was at the time of the assault. But that's...
Inconceivable!
Miss Woods, was this where the transport case was when you saw it?
Yes, that's where it was.
Thank you, Miss Woods. I'm sure the court has noted an interesting fact about this position. The transport case covers up the writing in blood. Exactly. If the transport case was in that position at the time of the assault, then no message could have been written there because the case was in the way. Which leads us to conclude that Mr. Justice couldn't have left that bloody writing.
Objection!
Why should we believe the defendant's claim that the case was in a different position? She's obviously lying.
Objection!
The fact that the case was moved after the assault on Mr. Justice is proven by more than Miss Woods' testimony alone.
What? And where is this proof you're talking about?
It's right here, in the crime photo. I'm keen to see this proof myself, Mr. Wright. Well, I don't see it yet, so I'm gonna save. God, I liked it better when I had save states. What in this photo indicates the transport case was moved after the assault? Oh! The trails, I didn't even see that. There we go. Please take a look at the mark that runs over Mr. Justice's bandages here. I see it. What is it? This mark was made by one of the casters from the transport case carrying the bomb. As the case was moved, it ran over his bandages. In other words, the transport case was originally to the right of Mr. Justice. Then after Mr. Justice was assaulted, the transport case was moved.
What?
Just as Miss Wood said, this case was covering the writing at the time of the assault. Therefore, it was impossible for Mr. Justice to have left that message in blood.
No!
Oh my god, he's totally guilty. Yo, we should kill him right now.
He did it, boss. It was a real nail biter, but you pulled it off.
Yep, that should bring down the prosecution's claim like a house of cards.
Order! Order in this court, for the love of God! Why are you guys so loud? Oh, good lord. Mr. Wright, that was a very clever deduction.
Ah, it was nothing, Your Honor. Nothing but pure genius. Take that.
Boss, I'm sensing a definite smug and braggy vibe coming off of you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Ah.
I have just one question, Mr. Wright.
Yes, Your Honor.
If Mr. Justice didn't leave that message in blood, then who did?
Huh?
What? Oh.
Well, looks like I should have taken that train of thought through to the last station.
Well, well. I've heard a lot about this. So this is Mr. Wright's famous bluffing technique, is it?
Ah, this feeling. It brings back memories of the old days. Back when you carved out a name for yourself by bluffing your way through thick and thin.
Gee, Mr. Wright. The judge kind of makes you sound no better than a 2-bit con man. You made your argument with such confidence, Mr. Wright. Now I'd like to hear your answer with just as much confidence.
Hey, until the judge asked the question, you didn't catch on either, Buster.
What now, boss? I hope you didn't bluff your way into a corner.
Think, Phoenix, think. There must be a way through this. I have to dig my way to the truth somehow. Who could have written that message in blood? If Apollo didn't leave that bloody writing,
Maybe it was Apollo's attacker who wrote it and made it look like Apollo did it.
that seems like the most reasonable explanation.
But wait a minute. I just realized something, boss.
What is it?
Look at the amount of blood in the photo. It doesn't look like Apollo bled very much. I wonder if it's even possible to write out Woods with just this much.
Hey, you're right. Good thing Apollo didn't lose that much blood. That might be a factor in why he survived the assault.
And since there was so little blood, that pretty much rules out his attacker, huh?
I guess so, but if it wasn't his attacker, then who else could it be? Could it have been? Who could have written that message in blood? If it wasn't Apollo, who could have left the bloody message? Oh! To be honest, I don't actually have any real proof of this. But I've come this far. There's no turning back now. Besides Apollo, there was one more person who shed blood at this crime scene.
A person who shed blood? You don't mean...
Oh, but I do. I believe it was Candace Arm who left behind this message in blood.
What? Oh my god, he's totally guilty. We should kill them all now.
What? Detective Arm? Are you sure you know what you're doing here?
Not really.
Objection!
What kind of ridiculous assertion is that? If you had said the attacker left the message to throw people off, it might have made sense.
At first glance, that would seem to be the most reasonable explanation. However, Apollo didn't shed enough blood to write such an extensive message.
Uh-oh.
Oh, I see. Even the photo makes it clear there wasn't enough blood to write all those letters. And Mr. Justice did survive. I suppose he didn't bleed very extensively in that case.
But why would Detective Arm write the defendant's name? There's no connection between the two whatsoever. And I didn't even know the lady who was killed. I admit the investigation didn't turn up any connection between the victim and the defendant. They had never even met each other.
That's very true. Well then, let's see. Then maybe the intended meaning of the message is not what it appears to be.
The intended meaning?
Not what it appears to be?
Maybe the message was not intended to be Woods. Upside down.
I don't know. Coming from you, that's quite the bold statement, Mr. Wright. You wish to assert that this bloody writing could have some other meaning.
Yes, Your Honor. If there's something I pulled out of a wormhole, it could turn out to be true, right?
Objection!
Huh. It clearly says Woods, as anyone can plainly see. What other meaning could it possibly have?
Objection!
But Candace Arndt was a detective. Maybe Woods only means something to the police. Like a police scanner code, for example.
I didn't think of that.
You may have tricked his honor, but you'll never get the best of me.
Oh, maybe it's like a bomb code, and it was supposed to say, like, somebody on the inside planted it or something? I don't know.
I have a thing for study on the weekends, and as you may have already guessed, there is no such radio code as Woods in this state, dear Mr. Wright.
Wait, so we're in America? You just said state, so... Is that a fact?
Don't look at me. I know as much as you do about police codes.
Enough of this. I was quite taken with the defense's new theory. But if I can't substantiate it with anything, then I must end things here.
No, please wait, Your Honor.
Very well, but before we discuss this theory any further, I demand a plausible explanation. So, Mr. Wright, what is the true meaning of the bloody writing?
Well, I believe it's...
And no stalling! If you can't come up with an answer quickly, I will declare this discussion officially over.
I'm in trouble now. What other meaning could it have besides the obvious one? Maybe it means something in another language? Or maybe it's a code? Think, Phoenix. You can do this.
Which piece of evidence will tell us what the words Woods really means?
Alright, this is a new recording session, guys, so if you hear stuff, it's my niece upstairs. Don't worry about it.
Take that!
I've done this part a couple times because I have to keep restarting stuff.
The bomb's transmit case? I about had it up to here with your shenanigans, Mr. Wright.
Take a look at the numbers on this case, Your Honor. L10015R. Doesn't this string look vaguely familiar?
L100? What does that have to do with anything?
Huh. What could those numbers possibly have to do with the case at hand?
Now please, take a look at the bloody writing shown in the crime photo.
Oh, I think I see it.
That a girl? That one's on my side.
It says Woods.
Oh, sorry. Or you could say it's a horse of a different color, Your Honor. The first character isn't a W, it's actually an L and a 1. The next two are zeros.
Oh, my goodness!
Boom! The true meaning behind the bloody writing isn't Miss Wood's name. It's the number engraved on this bomb transport case.
What are you talking about? The next part doesn't make any sense. The next number is a 1, but the bloody writing says D.
Objection!
But the number on the case and the bloody writing can be made to match up quite easily. This is how the number on the transport case can be matched.
Erase 2 lines, I guess? Sure.
Oh, never mind. Please erase the third downward stroke of the W and the curved part of the D. Ah, and there's the R.
Well, would you look at that?
Leos? No, Your Honor. It isn't meant to be read as a word. It's the number L10015, which, if you take away the final R, is the exact same number that's on the bomb transport case.
Erase 2 lines and they match up, you say? Well, I can change anything into anything else by simply erasing 2 lines. What if I erase 2 lines from your names? Would you be happy as Mr. Wright?
Well, would you, Mr. Rock?
The only right spelling is right. Okay, I'm doing pretty well here, and I think I've drawn the right conclusion. Detective Arm's real message to us is the bomb transport case number. Your Honor, the 2 lines were added by the real culprit to intentionally mislead people.
What?
The original message Detective Arm left behind was a transport case number. But whoever assaulted Apollo changed the message.
If you're right, boss, then what do you suppose Detective Arm was trying to tell us?
Good question. What does this number represent?
Do you see this number here? That is my identification number.
Candace Arm lost her life in the courtroom bombing. Her dying message could only have been one purpose. Had one purpose.
No!
To tell us the name of the one responsible for the bombing.
Well, don't keep us in suspense, Mr. Wright. Tell us who she was trying to name.
The culprit that the victim was trying to identify is none other than
Take that!
Destinies. The defense wishes to indict Mr. Destinies on the charge of the courtroom bombing. Destinies? Apparently, disabling bombs isn't Mr. Destinies' only specialty. Somehow, the victim must have realized that he was the bomber. So when she was caught in the blast, she left his bomb transport case number as her dying message. She used Mr. Destinies' own ID number to figure him for the crime.
Why would anyone go out of their way to write an ID number? Wouldn't they simply write the person's name?
He's got a good point there.
What do you have to say to that, Mr. Wright?
That only Detective Arm would know the answer to that, but allow me to offer a theory. Perhaps Detective Arm couldn't recall Mr. Destinies' name in the heat of the moment. As I recall, this was the first meeting between the two. It's entirely possible they wouldn't have been familiar with each other.
Or maybe using the ID number was a way to hide its true meaning from the real culprit. Thus lowering the odds they would erase the bloody writing.
But no matter what the reason, the important thing is the meaning behind her message. Fact remains, she wrote Mr. Destinies' ID number.
Now just one moment here. There hasn't been any proof yet that it was indeed Detective Arm who wrote it. The bloody writing wasn't found during the investigation after the blast. If Detective Arm had left a message, it should have been found at that time.
Objection!
Naturally, Mr. Destinies hid it before anyone could discover it. And there's a simple explanation for how he was able to do so.
What?
Mr. Destinies was able to cover the message up because he's a stickler. Because he's wearing those weird goggles.
Was he the first to find the body?
Yeah. The first person to discover the bloody writing was Mr. Destinies himself.
I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. I went there to ensure safety, but I ended up discovering a dead body.
When Mr. Destinies saw that the victim had written his ID number, he used the bomb transport case to cover up the bloody writing as a stopgap measure.
Ah, so that's why the message in blood was under the transport case.
He didn't have enough time to try and scrub away the writing. If he didn't report the body right away, he would look suspicious. So those letters lived on to serve another function. Mr. Destinies used them in another incident.
Oh, the assault of Mr. Justice.
Exactly. Mr. Destinies hit upon a plan to use the bloody writing for his own purposes. So he didn't clean it away. Instead, he made it look like Mr. Justice wrote it by adding 2 lines to the writing that Detective Arm left behind. Into Woods. He changed the meaning of the message. He made it look like Mr. Justice was accusing Miss Woods of the attack.
So that means...
The only person who could have altered the bloody writing was the courtroom bomber, who was the same person that assaulted Mr. Justice. Boom. And that person is Destinies.
Gah!
Oh my god, he's totally guilty. We should kill them all right now. What is with you people on death? Holy crap, you need to get some new material. Order! Order in this stupid court! Order, I say! Good lord. It will look like we have to hear from the bomb specialist himself. Mr. Payne, please have Mr. Destinies take the witness stand.
Oh, yes, Your Honor. That was great, Mr. Wright.
Just doing what I do best, which is flying by the seat of my pants.
Dismantling the case is yours. Do you think you can handle it? I look forward to seeing you try.
I've finally drawn Mr. Destinies back onto the witness stand. Looks like you'll get your wish, Goggle Man. Now watch me take your lies apart. Call me on your live phone. Oh, I'm back.
Mr. Destinies, I'm afraid we have a few more questions for you.
I understand the situation, Your Honor. I was keeping a close eye on the proceedings from the gallery. The allegations are all laughable.
I wouldn't be laughing if I were you, Mr. Destinies. The message in blood matches your ID number. The same ID number that is there on that bomb transport case.
Such a far-fetched theory. No better than a tangled ball of wires.
I'll have them untangled for you in no time at all. You were the first person on the scene after Detective Arm left her message in blood. You were the only one who could have hidden the writing and then used it again later.
I see, ×2. What? I see. But then, let me ask you, Do you have any proof that Detective Arm wrote that message?
That's a very good question. Well, do you, Mr. Wright?
The best way to prove that Detective Arm wrote that message is to... analyze the DNA. Your Honor, I request that a DNA test be performed on the blood itself. Once we know whose it is, it'll be obvious as to who wrote the message. Oh,
Very well. Leaf, please put in a request for a DNA test with the forensics team. Yes, Your Honor. It'll be some time before we have the results of the analysis. Until then, let's hear more from the witness.
I would like nothing more, Your Honor. I want the court to hear how ridiculous the defense's theory is.
witness testimony. After the explosion.
I admit I was the first one on the scene after the explosion, but there was no bloody writing there at that time. Anyway, there was no way Detective Arm could have written it. She struck her head on rubble and died near the courtroom entrance. She was too far away from where the bloody message was found.
So you're saying that the victim's body was nowhere near where the writing was?
Precisely. It is as plain as day that she could not have written it. It's true that the body was discovered near the entrance of the courtroom. Please have a look at this crime scene photo. As you can see, there is blood on the rubble near the victim's body. She must have died after hitting her head there.
Courtroom bombing photo added to court record.
I see. Alright then, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
Do you have what it takes to take my infallible testimony apart?
Dang right I do. Cross-examination. Woo. After the explosion.
Let's go!
Objection!
Got him. You are a terrible liar, Mr. Tenate. Take a look at this autopsy, specifically the part about Detective Arm's head injury. Cause of death, trauma to back of head caused by impact with a flat object.
Yes, what about it?
Now take a good look at the bloody piece of rubble. It's sharp and pointed.
Hey, you're right, boss. It is pointy. Just like your hair.
That is odd, isn't it? What could be the meaning of this contradiction?
I believe it means the victim did not hit her head on this piece of rubble. The blood stain you see is just another fabrication. Its purpose is to mislead us into thinking the victim died near the courtroom entrance.
Oh my god, they're totally right. Oh my god, I can't believe this.
Are you claiming the culprit moved the victim's body?
That's exactly what I'm claiming. The victim hit her head at some other location, most likely on the floor or some other flat surface. And this location was somewhere near where the bloody writing was found.
In that case, she definitely could have written the message.
Your Honor, I have the results of the bloodstain analysis. Very good timing. Let's take a look. According to this report, the messages were written in Detective Arm's blood. And, as the defense claims, only the parts in the message that were added afterwards were written in Mr. Justice's blood. It would appear that the defense's assertion is correct after all.
Bloody writing analysis added to the court records.
Yes, you did it. You were right, boss.
Now I have to drive it home. I'll have to take a good look at the bloody writing analysis later. Or right now. What do we got here? DNA analysis definitely proves the blood of the writing to be the victim. However, the lines around later are found to be written in blood. I mean, they don't really tell us anything,
Mr. Tenate, it is now apparent that you have told several lies to this court. I hope you have some sort of explanation for yourself.
Fine, I will confess.
You will? But then, why are you so calm?
This time I will tell the truth.
Oh yeah, I believe that. Witness testimony. The truth.
It is true that Detective Arm wrote my ID number. She very plainly wrote L10015R. I was so shocked, but I did not detonate the bomb. Detective Arm must have mistaken me for the real bomber. Not wanting to be accused, I moved the body and covered the writing. My bad.
I see. So it is your assertion that you merely moved the body, is that it?
That is correct. I did not kill Detective Arm.
Oh, well, if that's all you did, then... Wait a minute. That in itself is a criminal act.
Glad to see you finally crossed that finish line, Your Honor.
Very well, then. A cross-examination, please, Mr. Wright. Okay, so I think the thing we're going to bring up is the fact that the R wasn't noticeable. Maybe. For some reason. And then, I don't know, we'll prove that he moved the body or something, but that's my guess right now. And if I skipped ahead right now, then, well.
Objection!
Oh, that was easy. I just want to make double sure that L10015R is really what you saw written in blood. Yes, it's very clearly said L10015R. But that's odd, because that's not what I see.
Objection!
What on earth are you babbling about now? Wasn't it you who claimed that the bloody writing was his ID number in the first place?
Take a good look at the photo in the bloody writing analysis. Now tell me, does it really say L10015R?
Oh, heap.
Something is missing, isn't it? And that something is the final R.
What is the meaning of this, Mr. Tennate?
Oh, right, now I remember. There was no R on the end. It was just a slip of the finger, my bad.
Come back, my beautiful contradiction.
Mr. Wright, I'm not so sure it was just a simple slip of the finger.
You have something for me, Athena?
I sense that he's extremely agitated, almost panicked.
He does look pretty flustered.
Well, Mr. Wright, it appears it was nothing more than a mere mistake.
I don't know. Did he really just make a typo? What about that R? Did Mr. Tennate really see it?
He thought he saw an R. He actually saw it. He actually saw it?
Maybe Mr. Tennate really did see the R. But there's no R anywhere in the bloody writing. What's going on here? Huh? Now that I take another good look at the photo, yeah, there is an R there. It's just gone. I think maybe... That's it!
What is it now, Mr. Wright? Are you trying to imitate Apollo and his cords of steel?
I got it! So that's what happened. A slip of the finger. Is that really all it was? Because I don't think so. I propose that Mr. Tennate really did see the letter R.
But the photo clearly shows that there is no R.
No. No, Your Honor. Actually, just the opposite is true. The photo shows that Mr. Tennate actually could have seen the R.
If you're gonna make that claim, then you'd better be able to point out what you mean. What part of this photo shows that Mr. Tennate could have seen the R?
Why, it's right there.
Take that!
Please look here, to the right of the 5. Do you see a little bit of red?
Oh, I see it. Just on the edge of where the floor is broken up.
That's the R that Mr. Tennate saw.
Objection!
It's true that the witness wears some very, very odd goggles, but that doesn't mean his eyesight is bad, nor his brain power. What part of that little smudge looks like an R to you?
Objection!
But what Mr. Tennate saw wasn't that little smudge. There was a whole and complete R written there. Before the floor was damaged by the explosion.
Oh, well, that explains it. Huh?
Care to explain what you mean? Because you just proposed that everything happened in the exact opposite order.
Yep, because that's the way it really went down. The timing of when the R was written turns everything about this case around. Now then, if the floor was damaged by the explosion, when was the message written? Before the explosion. With the bloody message running off the edge of the damaged floor like that, we can only conclude that it was written before the explosion.
But that's ridiculous.
If that were true, it overturns your own premise.
That's right, it does. In fact, it turns everything upside down. The victim was not killed by the explosion in the courtroom. She was killed before the explosion ever occurred.
Oh my god, totally guilty. Oh my god, oh my god. Order in this court! Order! Order in the court!
What kind of preposterous claim is that? Have you forgotten the victim's body was found at the scene of the explosion?
Objection!
True, but consider this scenario. She was hit on the head and killed before the explosion, or even before the trial began. Her body was subsequently placed in the courtroom ruins after the bombing occurred. That way, it can be made to look like she was the victim of the blast.
What?
It sounds like we had better look into what the victim was doing before the trial. Mr. Payne, did anyone see Detective Arm before the trial?
Let's see. According to the police report... here it is. One person. One person saw the victim before the trial. And that person was... Destinies. Wait, what?
No one besides Mr. Tenay saw the victim?
That appears to be the case, Your Honor.
I would now ask the court to recall something. Specifically, Mr. Tenate's words from yesterday.
It was when Detective Arm and I were transported the bomb.
Oh my!
Mr. Tenate, just before the trial, you were with the victim. The two of you were together at the scene of the crime, courtroom number 4. Your Honor, the defense requests new testimony from Mr. Tenate. We wish to hear what he has to say about his whereabouts just before the trial.
Mr. Tenate, your testimony, please.
My testimony? There's no need for... Blah, blah, blah. He's completely unnerved, Mr. Wright. He must have hit the nail on the head. Because all I did was transfer the bomb to the courtroom. I already told you before.
Blast this thing. I was only in the courtroom with the victim because of her work. I swear I was only transporting the bomb there. You and the victim were alone together at the scene of the crime. In other words, you certainly had the opportunity to commit murder, did you not?
Do you always leave yourself so open to attacks, Mr. Wright?
What now, Mr. Payne?
Yes, Mr. Tenate may have had the opportunity to kill Miss Detective Amy. That's not even her name, is it? What's her name? Arm? Yeah. But an important piece of your assertion is missing.
What important piece?
The murder weapon. What do you claim was used to kill the victim?
Mr. Payne has a point. Even if Mr. Tenate had the chance, without a weapon, we can't accuse him of the crime.
Well, Mr. Tenate?
Yeah, that's right. I didn't have any sort of thing that could be used as a murder weapon on me. You had the bomb. That was a flat object. I couldn't possibly have killed Detective Arm. Did he really have nothing he could use as a murder weapon? What is it, Athena?
Just looking over the victim's autopsy report. I'm hoping there's something in here that can point us in the right direction.
Well, it does say that she died from trauma to the back of the head with a flat object.
Yeah, and to inflict that specific kind of injury, all you would need is a flat surface, right?
A heavy, blunt object with a flat surface could definitely be our murder weapon.
Well, Mr. Wright, can you indicate for the court what was used to kill Detective Arm?
I believe I can. Believe being the key word here. You can?
Then please do so now. What did Mr. Tenate have that could be used as a murder weapon? Boom!
Mr. Tenate, you say you didn't have anything that could be used as a weapon. But in fact, you had the perfect thing.
What? What the devil are you talking about?
You had this.
Oh, that's the bomb. I thought you were trying to prove that the victim wasn't killed by the bomb blast.
Ugh. The bomb blast, no, but I believe Candace's arm was killed with this bomb. Because this is the blunt object that delivered the fatal blow to her head. Please recall the description of Detective Arm's head wound. Trauma to back of head caused by impact with a flat object. We assume this injury was sustained when her head hit the floor. But a blow from any flat side of this bomb would produce the exact same wound pattern. What's with him?
Then show me some proof. Where's the evidence that I hit the victim with a bomb?
Ugh, he's right. I don't have anything decisive.
Did you find any of the victim's blood on the bomb? That would be decisive proof. But too bad, the bomb is blown to bits. It's long gone. Boom! Game over! Yeah!
Ugh.
Mr. Wright, is there really nothing on the bomb in the photo?
Ugh, I don't see any blood or anything. There's a crack.
I didn't notice that. Wait, the timer display's a little broken here. Maybe it broke when it made contact with Detective Arm's head.
That's definitely a distinct possibility. But unless we find a fragment with the victim's blood on it, it's not going to count.
Oh, I guess you're right.
By setting off the bomb, Tennant managed to obliterate all traces of the murder weapon. What in the world do I do now? At times like this, I've got to change gears and look at things in a different way. Instead of looking for the things he wasn't able to hide, I should be looking for a way to expose the things he did hide. Tennant murdered Detective Arm before the trial started, then he placed her body in the courtroom after the bomb went off, which means there was something you need to keep hidden until then, and I think I have just the thing. Time to present the photo that shows exactly what Mr. Tennant had to hide. This is the thing he had to hide.
Take that!
Your Honor, there's something we've all been overlooking. If the murder took place before the trial, then Mr. Tennant would have had to hide the body somewhere during the trial.
Hey, you're right. If we can figure out where that hiding place was.
Exactly. We might be able to find some evidence we can pin him down with. So where could Mr. Tennant have hidden the body during the trial? Oh!
Take that!
Wait. A box big enough for a body. A box that was in the courtroom the whole time. A box nobody would touch if they thought there was a bomb in it. Boom! Mr. Tennant.
What is it? Do you finally have some of those types of evidence to show me?
No, you're the one who's going to show it to me.
Come again?
You heard me. Now, show me what's inside that bomb transport case. What? Why? No! There's no need. I've got him now. Just before the trial, you killed the victim with a blunt object. And then you placed her body in the ruins of the courtroom after the bomb went off. Clearly, you were trying to make it look like she died in the explosion. But where was the body hidden during the trial?
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
The answer is right here. Inside a box made of thick alloy plating that can withstand any impact. No, that's completely false. If it's false, you should have no objection to us showing your transport case. So, let's open it up and take a look inside, shall we?
Oh my god, this guy is so guilty, dude. Holy crap.
Hold it!
Oh no.
Hold it! Yeah.
Let's not. Not if you value your life.
What's he up to now?
Remain calm and listen carefully. This bomb will detonate in 5 minutes.
What?
Huh?
I repeat, this HH-3000 will detonate in 5 minutes.
What's going on?
Your Honor, I recommend you adjourn this trial before this bomb goes off.
Mr. Tennant, are you threatening me?
Heh. I am the only one who can disable this bomb. If you do not want to die, your only option is to listen to me.
But Mr. Tennant, didn't you say this is a training model? Fake to practice on.
I did, but I also lied. This is the real deal. This is the HH-3000.
But the HH-3000 was used to blow up courtroom number 4, wasn't it?
How do you know it was the real HH-3000 that blew up courtroom number 4?
Huh?
The bomb that blew up the courtroom was a different one. One that I made.
What? Then are we to take that as a confession on your part?
Take it any way you would like. Just before the trial, I took the HH-3000 out of the stuffed animal and put my own bomb into it. That was the bomb that exploded and destroyed courtroom number 4.
Mr. Tennant, please be reasonable. Do you really expect us to believe a crazy story like that?
The HH-3000, it is so unique. I had never seen anything like it. It is so unique that I could not replicate the detonation mechanism, so I just had to have it. Besides, did anyone look inside the stuffed animal during the trial? Did anyone check to see if it really was the HH-3000 in there?
I must confess, no one opened the stuffed animal to check.
So there really is a possibility that the bomb was switched out?
No, not a possibility, a certainty. I did it.
So he's had a real bomb with him this whole time?
You had better get out of here while you can. You do not have much time.
Order! Order in the court! I'm out of here! It's gonna blow! Run!
You four are still here? Well, well, aren't you brave?
It just wouldn't do for the judge presiding over this court to run. But that horrible explosion the other day.
The judge looks like he's about to book it for the nearest exit any second. Hey, Mr. Payne.
That is... Ah!
And he's off.
Mr. Wright, what do we do?
It'd be pretty pathetic to run now, wouldn't it?
But the bomb might really go off. Only 3 more minutes, folks.
Is that bomb really the HH-3000? What should I do? Stand my ground. I can't run now.
Well, it's been fun, but I will be going now. With my dear HH-3000 naturally. Oh, and by the way, I would advise against having me followed. Even with no remote switch, this bomb can still be triggered manually. If I think I'm being followed, I will detonate it on the spot. Farewell.
Oh.
Hold it!
Hold it! You're not going anywhere, Destinies.
Oh?
Your Honor, there's no reason to be afraid. That bomb is a fake.
Oh, are you sure, Mr. Wright?
Huh. More of your famous bluffing. Even at the risk of your own life.
Mr. Wright, none of your bluffing now. Not at a time like this. Lives are on the line here.
I'm not bluffing, and I have proof.
You do?
Yes, of course, Your Honor. It's right here in the photo of the bomb, clear as day. Proof that Mr. Tenay's bomb is not the real HH-3000.
Really? Out with it then, immediately. Where's the proof that Mr. Tenay is what Mr. Tenay is holding is not the real HH-3000?
Why, it's right
There!
The display for the timer on the bomb in the photo is broken. Most likely, it broke when Mr. Tenay used the bomb to attack Detective Arm. But the display on the bomb in front of us is not broken.
Oh, you're right.
Therefore, this is not the real HH-3000. Mr. Tenay was clearly lying when he said he switched out the bomb and the stuffed animal. The real HH-3000 blew up in courtroom number 4. The bomb is nothing more than a fake, a model used for training purposes. Ah! Fear not, Your Honor. I will examine the inside of the bomb transport case myself.
Yes, please do that, Mr. Wright.
No! Stop! Blood. Yup! And there it is.
What is that? Is that a blood stain?
Just as I expected. Your lies have all been blown to bits, Mr. Tenay. I'm confident DNA analysis on this blood stain will confirm it's Detective Arm's blood. And that those results will conclusively prove that you murdered Detective Arm. How about it, Mr. Tenay? Think you can dismantle this decisive evidence?
Dismantle it? You're too late. You missed your chance to run, so now you're out of time. This HH-3000 is about to explode!
Don't try to threaten us, Mr. Tenay. I've already proven that your bomb is a fake.
It's real. This bomb is the real thing, I tell you. It's real.
Mad Bomber, party of one.
There's no time left. It's gonna blow. I have to disarm it. I have to take it apart. I can dismantle anything. I can take apart evidence. I can take apart bombs. I can dismantle it all. Dismantle, 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 dismantle. I'm not gonna make it. Only one thing left to do. Stop!
Ooh.
Made it.
Ooh. Those are his eyes? Wow. Game over. Dismantle attempt failed. Did he think it was the real bomb? Or was he bluffing at the end?
Ah. It's all over. My life has all been blown to pieces. It's all that stupid woman's fault. I was selling the bombs I disarmed on the black market. When I tried to take this one, she just had to notice, didn't she? She confronted me in courtroom number 4 that day. That's why I had no choice. Before I knew what I was doing, I hit her. It's all her fault. While I was looking for a place to hide her body, she left a message in her own blood. The trial was about to start, so I didn't have time to clean it up. And now all this. I thought for sure I could disguise her death with an explosion. Then that stupid defense attorney started sticking his nose into my business. After my testimony yesterday, I went to courtroom number 4 and I found that kid all up in my bomb transport case. That's when I snuck up behind him, and BAM! And when the idiot police arrested that little girl, I thought for sure I could pin it all on her. Why? Oh, why?
Ooh. Ted, tonight, you are hereby under arrest. On suspicion of the courtroom bombing and the assault on Mr. Justice. Your innocence or guilt will be determined at a later date. Now then, I see that members of the public have returned to the gallery. One person, however, seems to still be running far, far away. Be that as it may, I will now announce Miss Juniper Wood's verdict. Not guilty. Woo! We did it! Yeah! Oh yeah, look at me. First case in a while and I still won. Ha! Take that, gasping pain.
Yes, I'm so happy too. Court is adjourned. Bonk.
I hope Edgeworth gets the trials for all the people I make guilty. So that way they for sure, yeah. You know what I mean? Like they for sure will get convicted.
You did it, boss.
Yeah, I guess we managed to pull it off somehow.
So many mysteries cleared up all at once. It was amazing.
It just sort of worked out that way, didn't it?
That's not the kind of thing that usually just works out. You made it happen. And the way that mean old prosecutor hightailed it out of there, that was great. Mr. Wright, Dina, thank you for everything that you did for me. I'm so happy for you, Junie. And you can go back home to the forest in peace. I hope that both of you will come and visit me there sometime.
That would be nice. Thank you for the invitation.
I don't know, Mr. Wright. I'm not so sure you can make it all the way up to Junie's house. How high up do you live again, Junie? Around 3,000 feet, I think.
What? That's no forest. That's a mountain.
But you know, boss, there's something that still bothers me about the case. One little mystery never got around to solving.
Oh, that? Yeah, I was wondering about that too. Is this the unsolved mystery you're thinking of? Oh, the missing remote switch.
Take that!
The remote switch, right?
Yeah, I wonder where it disappeared to. Maybe Mr. Tenate just got rid of it somewhere.
Yeah, it is a pretty big thing to leave unsolved, though. Well, let's leave it up to the police to find. For now, we should be celebrating our not guilty verdict.
I guess you're right. Hey, I know. Junie, shall we go report the good news? You know, to that certain someone. Okay.
Huh? Her grandmother?
No, silly, to Apollo!
Oh, right. Well, why don't we all go to the hospital together to see him?
Great idea. I bet he's bored out of his mind. Okay.
And so, the courtroom bombing case came to a close. But the next trial was just over the horizon. There's never a dull moment with so many lawyers in the office, that's for sure. Apollo Justice, Athena Sykes, and me, Phoenix Wright. Between the three of us, there's no case we can't solve. When our powers combine, we're an unstoppable team. At least, that's what I believed.
Uh-oh. That's not... Oh. That doesn't sound good at all.
Uh-oh. But all that changed with what Apollo said to us that day. It was something that would put my faith in us to the ultimate test. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Write Anything Agency. Okay, so we changed it. It used to be Write Talent Agency. Now it's just Write Anything Agency. Oh, cutscene. Uh-oh. Oh no!
Sorry, but I'll be taking a leave of absence.
Wait, what do you mean by a leave?
What?
Can you at least give me a reason why?
I can only say that this is something I must settle on my own.
Oh, Trucy. Apollo, why? Oh. Okay, this is something bigger. There's more to this case than meets the eye.
Why, Apollo? Why are you shutting us out?
What? He's leaving? No! I wanted to play as him and use his awesome ability that I love so much from the first game. What happened to you, Apollo? Ever since you put that jacket on, you've changed. What is that jacket? And now, for whatever reason, all my mind keeps doing is returning to the day I first met you. Oh, we're doing a flashback? Hey, that's the Apollo I know. We tackled our first case together, he and I, this past spring. And as we did, I came to know who he is and how he thinks. It was a very peculiar case, one in which the victim was killed by a mythical creature. What? Is it the... that sounds interesting. Ah, so that was it for that case. Illustrations and anime cutscenes galleries have been unlocked. Please go to extras. Okay. Cool. We did it. Episode 2, Monstrous Turnabout. Alright. Okay, hold on. No. Huh, what happened? Alright guys, well I'm going to end today's episode here for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Stick around to see more of this awesome game. We'll be playing it till the end as always. And I'll see you all next time. Peace out!